Hello, this is Kyle Botter, and today's video is going to be on a quote, which is that fame is the greatest aphrodisiac to women. So this is something that the psychologist Orion Taraban has talked about, and he mentions a little bit in his book, The Value of Others. There's also a quote from Enrique Iglesias. He uses that quote. He says that before he became famous, no women would look at him. He said he couldn't get laid in a whorehouse, basically. But then once he became famous, he was suddenly surrounded by all these eager women that wanted to sleep with him and be with him. So why is fame the greatest aphrodisiac to women? And of course, I'm speaking, not from personal experience because I'm not famous. But the idea is that fame, it's a measure of social proof on a grand scale. And women, in terms of their sexuality, in terms of what they like, social proof is a lot more viable and a lot more important for women in order to think that someone is attractive in difference to men. So men's sexuality, as almost anyone can say, is extremely simple. Does she look good? And that's kind of the be-all, end-all. Attraction for a man is just simply appearance overall. There's a few other categories, but if she's a good-looking woman, she's never going to struggle with getting attention from men. So attraction for men is simple, but for women, it's a little bit more complicated. Of course, women also prioritize looks. Looks are the most important thing. Well, okay, that can be debated a little bit, but looks are very important for women. But there's a whole host of other things, a lot of status, wealth, power, humor, kindness. A lot of personality traits are a lot more salient for what women find attractive. But I like Orion Taraban's view that women's sexuality is a lot more trend-like or fad-like than men's sexuality. Basically, that women tend to conglomerate. They tend to organize themselves around a specific man and say that this is the most attractive man. So you can look at it in a simpler version, in a local sense of like popularity, of like some guys, all the women are around this one guy, and you might wonder like, okay, why this guy? Like, what makes this guy so attractive? Like, he might just be as physically attractive or even not as physically attractive as some other guy, but why is he getting all this attention? And the idea is that women's sexuality is a lot more sort of following the herd, and kind of a mass of attention gets focused on one individual. And women use this social proof in order to also be attracted to this guy. They see other women are attracted to this guy, therefore I'm going to be attracted to this guy. And the more women that like this guy, the more they want to like this guy, which could also be why women tend to find men in relationships more attractive. Like a lot of men, anecdotally, once they get married, once they have that ring on their finger, suddenly they get, more attention than they would otherwise, because a woman can see that this man is taken, that some other woman has chosen this man, and therefore he is more attractive. They don't like the idea of no other woman liking a guy. Like, if a guy is single, it actually hurts him a lot because they don't know if other women like this guy. Like, he might just be, repulsive to women. Like, and so they like this idea that other women like him, therefore I should like him too, which might be part of women tending to be more into fads and trends, especially in terms of fashion, than men are. Men are not as good with fashion and trends. Like, they don't tend to naturally as pick up on things that are, becoming popular. Whereas, like, I guess another anecdotal thing, but I think it bears some relationship to reality, is like you could look at men and women like as young people, like teenagers, like what are they into musically? And women, like, by and large, will like whatever is top 40. They'll like the Taylor Swifts and the Sabrina Carpenters and the Billie Eilishes. They'll like musically whatever is popular, whereas men, most of them like what's popular too, like it's pop music, but there'll be this one guy that he's super into death metal, and another guy he's like, he listens to only like ska, and another is like post-punk. Like, men are a lot more willing to kind of diverge from the crowd, I guess, and sort of form their own identity that's very different. I know that when I was a teenager, and it was in the 2000s, everybody was into like My Chemical Romance and like Panic at the Disco, like emo bands, and I was really into classic rock. So I had my own like, musical style that was completely different than what was mainstream. Like I was super into 60s music and stuff. But and also like fashion wise, I was not very trendy. Now, the thing is like women, so why is fame an aphrodisiac for women? I think it's because it takes that social proof and then it extends it to like a huge like context that includes millions of people. So now you can see that this famous person, you can see that tens, hundreds, even thousands of women like this guy. And so the women are also going to be like, oh, I also like this guy. He must be attractive because all these women like him. And this social proof kind of gets into their sexual attraction for him. And I also like this idea from Orion Teraband that like being famous is like being an attractive woman. So a lot of attractive women, they get like favors and people will like, just give them stuff randomly. And they're always seeming to be like supported by somebody because somebody's always willing to like, oh yeah, I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. And being famous is very similar. Like if you're famous, people will go out of their way to be like, oh, here's a free sample of my product, like if you like it, promote it. If not, oh, here, come to my restaurant, because just having that famous person in your restaurant is going to increase the attention that your restaurant's getting, the positive attention. And fame brings about like wildfire, positive attention everywhere you go. It's like being on fire, and everywhere you walk is being set on fire. If you were a famous person like Kim Kardashian, if Kim Kardashian went to a random coffee shop, that coffee shop would get so much attention. It's a random place, it could be in some small town, but now it's gotten so much attention. And of course, attention is power. Power equals wealth, they're all related. And so fame, everywhere the fame goes, touches these levers of status, power, wealth. And so if you're famous, anywhere you go will bring these things with them. And I think that's also an intrinsic thing that attracts women, because women are more than men attracted to status, wealth, and power. And fame connects all these, are all bundled together. And so they it's not illogical. It's not like a Machiavellian thing like, oh, if I'm attracted to this famous guy, then I can get this, blah, blah, blah. Some women are like that. Some women are actively trying to, hunt down the white whale, so to speak. They're gold diggers who are trying to get this, rich guy. But I think for most women that are attracted to famous people, it's in the same way that a man is attracted to an attractive woman. He just sees her and he's just attracted. It's primal, it's emotional. You can't really debate it, and it's not a logical scheming sort of thing. It's just what he likes. And I think for most women, like in terms of the social status that comes with fame, they just like that. It's just a deep down feeling that they get, and they can't control it. Yeah, and so it is the way it is, but fame being the greatest aphrodisiac for women, I think Enrique Iglesias was right that even Enrique Iglesias, I don't know if you know much about him, but he's a good-looking guy, but I wouldn't doubt that he had trouble getting a girlfriend before he was famous, because when you're not famous, you're just kind of a nobody, and I think women do generally, in who they're attracted to, tend to reach upwards. And so if a woman is surrounded by ordinary men, she's not looking at the ordinary men, she's looking at the extraordinary man. She's looking for the famous man. What Will Smith also had another in his songs, women used to diss me. Or no, who was that? No, that was Biggie Smalls. Wrote, women used to diss me. Now they write letters because they miss me. Will Smith also said in another song that women used to tease me, now they give it to me nice and easy. So, in these rappers, they probably felt, they probably saw how women treated them when they weren't famous versus how they treated them when they were famous. So this was just my little rant on fame and women's sexuality. And maybe it was interesting to you, maybe it wasn't. But if it was, please leave a like and subscribe and send it to someone you might think might be interested in this. So thank you very much.